a tradition which survives up to this day. It's a common tradition in the Muslim world to gather together to recite poetry, mushaira, and so on. Yes, Sayyidah Sukaina used to do that in those early days. Her appreciation for culture, her love for poetry and language and beauty. The younger girls of Mecca will follow her as an example in that way. And she was the favorite child of Imam Hussein. As a young child growing up, she would always be with her father. Loved him so much that at night she would lie down on his chest. The biographers mention that. So she came from a wholesome Islamic environment, and she became this great personality. And this is one of many examples in our history of great personalities that were the product of an Islamic environment. I share this snippet with you today from our history so that you can appreciate the importance of offering your children that proper Islamic environment. And it is much more difficult now. The challenge is greater now. The challenge is greater now because of the society in which we live, and therefore the effort on our part must be greater. I mentioned last week in previous khutbah of some of the challenges in the school and in fact in society. It was not too long ago that one of our brothers, who comes to our masjid for so many years, he came to me. He was very sad. He came to me to discuss the marriage of his son or daughter. I don't remember. And they were getting married to a non-Muslim. So he's so very sad, almost on the verge of tears, but he said this is what they want to do. And he said this is the dara'ib we pay for being here in this society. That these things happen if you don't make that extra effort to ensure that your children have an Islamic environment. And sending your children to public schools, it destroys their morality. It destroys their Islam, because they're being fed with ideas and concepts which are totally alien to Islam. And so it is something that we need to be mindful of. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran, O my believers, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, Ku anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Save yourself and save your children from the fire of hell. we all need to help one another to ensure that our children can grow up as Muslims and behave as Muslims. And it needs a conscientious effort on our part, a deliberate effort on our part to ensure this. You know, there are some Muslim parents that would make the sacrifice to take their children to soccer practice, to piano lessons, to extracurricular activities and so on. But they would not make that sacrifice to bring their children to the masjid. Then what do we expect our children to become? When we do this, we need to bring our children out to the masjid, ensure they have this connection to Islam. And here at Islam Forum, we go to different lengths, making extra effort to offer that environment. Whether it's Fridays for Jumma, and we encourage all parents to bring their children, especially now during the summer vacation, July, August, so they can have that experience of Jum'ah. On every Saturday, we have a family program in the evening from 7 p.m. to bring your family, your spouse, your children to the masjid so that they can have that experience of being in the masjid. And so on. So many different programs. Even during the week, Monday evening, and the rest of the week, we have our online broadcast, a live broadcast from 7 p.m. That at home, you can sit down with your family and listen to Quran and dhikr and dua and dars and so on. So we try our best to offer this opportunity of an Islamic environment, an Islamic upbringing. But it is for you as parents to make that extra effort. If you don't bring your children to the masjid, then what happens later on in their life? They feel alienated from the masjid. The masjid is like a foreign place to them. They don't feel comfortable in the masjid. In that way. So I'm mentioning this almost like sounding an alarm for each and every one of you because of what is happening now in our society with our youth. You know, children, especially in the teenage years, they go to public school and then a growing number of them are saying they're not Muslims anymore. They're actually saying that, telling their parents. And parents are coming to us and wanting to know what to do. How can they deal with their children? And we advise them. But a growing number of Muslim children are doing this. And on the internet, they're growing, there's so many clips of teachers actually telling Muslim students this. You need to change your religion. This whole gender ID confusion as being taught in school. And if our children hear that from their teachers day in, day out, then they start accepting it. because they're at a young, impressionable age. They accept what they're hearing. They're not able to think critically. And so, for us, all of us, there is this need to respond to the fitna of our time, the great fitna of our time, that our children are bombarded with. And sometimes even parents who are not connected to Islam and don't practice Islam, they start accepting these ideas and start making statements that Islam is backward and Islam is not relevant for society anymore. We don't bother with that. It was 14 centuries ago. We can't practice that today. They make these statements, which are statements of kufr. But these things are happening in our society. I want also to continue to share with you today the Islamic paradigm of knowledge and its importance. What our teachers handed down to us over these centuries, among which this beautiful mindset value, al-ilmu sultan, wa huwa silahul mu'min. Knowledge is power. Knowledge empowers you. And this is something that we should hold on to. This statement, knowledge is power. Knowledge empowers you, and it is the weapon of the believer. You know, people say all things about us, but for us, how do you respond? Hold on to knowledge. Acquire knowledge. And you see, in society, it's very clear, knowledge empowers you. If you are knowledgeable in any profession, you are well established in society, you're respected by others. It's a common acceptance by people that in every university, in any part of Canada, from coast to coast to coast, the leading doctors, they are Muslim doctors. The leading surgeons and so on, they're Muslim doctors. Because this is something we've done. Many parents have made great sacrifices for their children to get the best education. Many of them became doctors and engineers and IT specialists and so on and so forth, because of the sacrifice of parents. But what I want to mention to you today also, the next principle is that all humans are dead except those with knowledge. That's spiritual death, that we live, except those with knowledge. And all those with knowledge are asleep except those who do good deeds. And so this knowledge now must not only restrict us to success in the dunya, but should equip us for success in the akhirah. Don't make the mistake of giving your children only academic knowledge. More important than that, give them Islamic knowledge, because that is what will benefit them in the akhirah. Because sometimes you see some Muslims who are qualified in whatever field they have, like medical doctors, for example, and they make statements against Islam. They question basic things in Islam. They don't practice Islam, they don't pray, they don't fast. So, what does it profit a man to gain the world but lose his soul? There is no profit in that ultimately. gain the world, gain wealth and money and fame and position and so on, gain all of that, but then lose your soul. You're not praying, not practicing Islam. What is the profit in that? What is the benefit in that? So once again, this balanced Islamic upbringing that you need to focus on for your children. And here at Islamic Forum, we are here to help you on this journey, to be with you on this journey, that we can hold hands together and travel on this journey to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us and protect our children and protect our Muslim community from the evils of the world today. آمين آمين آمين. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. Inshallah, the volunteers will be walking the Safar. Please encourage them with your generosity. We kindly request you to make a generous donation to the masjid today. We need your financial support, so please make a generous donation to the masjid today. And also for our new masjid project, we have continued construction in a new masjid. We invite you to come on Sunday at about 12 noon to see the work that we are doing, inshallah. And we need your generous financial support for the new masjid project as well. The Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam mentioned, Man bana lillahi masjidan, bana Allahu lahu baytan fil jannah. That you build a masjid for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will build for you a special home in Jannah, in paradise. So please make your generous donations today. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Allahumma barik ala Sayyidina Muhammad. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika la wa ashhadu anna Sayyidina Muhammadan abdullahi wa rasuluh amma ba'd. Among the steps we are taking and have taken to help the children in our community to have an Islamic education and an Islamic environment is we are starting a full-time Islamic school in September for the new school year. We are starting with junior kindergarten, senior kindergarten, grade 1 and grade 2 for those grades for this year. And once that's completed, we will continue with the other grades gradually, inshallah. So junior kindergarten for 4 years old, senior kindergarten for 5 years old, grade 1 for 6-year-old, and grade 2 for 7-year-old. So those are the CDMR, don't move anyone. Those are the grades that we are starting with. So if you have children in that age group, you can contact us, inshallah, and we have an open house that will answer all questions with the parents and so on and do the registration of the children. So if you have children in that age group, 4 years to 7 years, please contact us. You can give your name to the table in back, your name and your telephone number, so someone, a staff member, will call you. And please convey this message to all the Muslim families you know, that if they have children in that age group, they can register for the full-time Islamic school, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children and live their entire life as Muslims and be good ambassadors for Islam. Ameen, ameen, ameen. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى في شأن الحبيب بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد اللهم بارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما باركت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد وارض اللهم عن ساداتنا أبي بكر وعمر وعثمان وعلي وعن الصحابة أجمعين وعن أهل البيت والصحابة والتابعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون وأقم الصلاة إن الصلاة تنهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون آمين آمين. If you can kindly stand up and make yourself for Salah, you can kindly move forward and fill the gaps ahead of you, inshallah. Sisters, please make sure your lines are straight. Move forward and put your toes on the line. Look down at your toes, make sure your toes form a straight line. Brothers as well, kindly move forward and put your toes at the top of the line, inshallah, so you can form a straight saf and the saf remains straight throughout the salah. We welcome all of you to the Islamic Forum today. We thank you for joining us for Jumma. We hope you can join us every Friday for Jumma, and please bring others with you, your family members, your relatives, your friends, your children, and so on, inshallah, that they can join us for Jumma. And tell others, invite them to come to the Islam Forum. The Jumma program starts at 1 p.m. every Friday with Adhan, and then at 1:30 we start the Khutbah, and at about 2:15 once we finish the Khutbah we do the Salah, same time throughout the year, inshallah. We also extend a special welcome to all our brothers and sisters online that are joining us for the online broadcast and praying Jumma with us from different countries, in many places. We welcome all of you, and we hope you can join us every Friday. And please tell all the Muslims you know that they can join us for Jumma and pray Jumma with us. They don't need to miss Jumma, inshallah. And for those online, please go to the website islamforumonline.com to make your Jumma donations for today. For those who are here, please visit the donation boxes before you leave, and also the donation table to use your credit cards for donation. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless each and every one of you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enrich you many more times. Ameen, ameen, ameen. استووا واستقيموا وتقاربوا أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen Ar-Rahmanir Rahim Maliki Yawmiddin إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. حقا لا إله إلا الله سيدنا محمد رسول الله. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض. من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. اللهم آمين. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. وصلى الله تعالى على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله سيدنا محمد رسول الله. اللهم آمين.